very warm welcome here to the planetarium in Copenhagen. My name is Nikolai Harding, and I will try my best during the next 30-40 minutes to guide us through a day which brings some very exciting news, if I may say so. We are very happy that you found the time to show up here today. I'm pretty sure it will be worth it. And as you've probably seen, we are in, as I said, the planetarium, which is a place about the universe, stars and planets. But as you also know, we are here to talk about quantum. So it can seem like a bit odd that we are here today, but I promise you that with the announcement that we make today, it's those exact stars that we are reaching out for. So there's a bit of like a combination between two things, even though it sounded corny, but... Well, let's not hesitate any further. Just to get in the right mood in this place, let's watch a small video that will tell a little bit more about what we're doing here today.
It begins with light. Lasers, finely tuned, precise, powerful. Harnessing atoms frozen in space. Molding these foundational elements into a machine that provides a computational power and agility never before seen. Transforming quantum theory into reality. Reality into possibility. Possibility into incredible opportunity. Quantum computing has long carried the promise of solving problems deemed unsolvable. Atom computing's unique technology allows for scalability and sustainability that is unmatched by other systems. Atom computing is the first company to exceed 1,000 qubits and demonstrate a path forward to fault-tolerant quantum computing. At its core, Atom's quantum computer is built around a vacuum chamber, where atoms are held in suspension using a finely tuned set of laser tweezers, which maneuvers the atoms into position with microscopic precision. Additional lasers manipulate the atom's quantum states to perform computation. Atom's process is straightforwardly scaled to millions of qubits in a space the size of a grain of sand. Atom's true strength is the engineers, scientists, and developers who work closely together to foster new ideas and to develop breakthroughs that are redefining the world of quantum computing. With Atom's groundbreaking technology at their fingertips, architects of tomorrow can explore algorithms to address applications like redesigning complicated traffic infrastructures, creating complex new chemical compounds, or designing the most robust energy grid. Quantum computing stands as the next frontier in technological advancement. The atom is the foundational element of our universe, the keystone that holds the vast complexities of space and matter. Just as these tiny atoms have shaped our universe, atom computing is shaping the trajectory of quantum technology in a profound way. And the world will never be the same.
Well, thankfully, I'm not the one who's going to tell you what this is all about. I'm in some very good company today. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Morten Bødskov, the Danish Minister of Industry, Business and Financial Affairs. Yes. And also Mads Krogsgaard, the CEO of the Novo Nordisk Foundation. And of course, Peder Lundqvist, the CEO of Export and Investment Fund of Denmark. And last but not least, flown directly in from Seattle in the USA, Zander, Executive Vice President of Microsoft. Morten, please.
Well, thank you very much, Nikolai, and thank you very much, everybody, for being here at the planetarium today, a place where, as we all know, children and grown-ups explore the biggest questions of both life, but also, as Nikolai just said in his introduction, the universe. A universe the world's greatest minds have studied and tried to understand for centuries, not least our Dane Niels Bohr, because for over 100 years ago, as we all know, he won the Nobel Prize. Niels Bohr, he helped us understand some of the world's smallest building blocks, the structure of the atom. Back then, Niels Bohr said, prediction is very difficult, especially about the future. I mean, you can't find a more right quote, especially at the time we're living in right now. So also then he was right. Today we are here, and we are standing on the shoulders of Niels Bohr. I hope you'll forgive me by making this prediction. My clear prediction is that what we present here today will change the future. Because today we are presenting the strongest commercial quantum computer in the world. Right here, now, in Denmark, building on Niels Bohr's foundation. The biggest, strongest, and first of its kind. There's no doubt when we look at the world today, we're looking into a global tech race. The world is changing, and the choices that we make today will influence our role in the future. EIFO and the Novo Nordisk Foundation are investing, as you already know, 80 million euros in setting up QuNorth. QuNorth will buy, build, and operate this computer. It is a new Nordic quantum project. This computer is an opportunity to boost our competitiveness, a unique chance for scientists and also companies. And I must admit, I'm perhaps not the best, don't know all about it yet, but the potentials here are enormous, they're huge. It can help us create materials for green energy solutions, like sustainable batteries, or even better ways to power trucks. It will help us produce better medicine and improve our understanding of the biological systems. It will help us to, as we just saw, optimize travel routes and supply chains, and help us also to make more precise financial forecasts. All of these things here are extremely important, not least in the world that we are living in now. Because the world is changing, that's why I'm enormously proud that we here in Denmark, even though we are a small country, with this event today, with this activity, the establishing of QuNorth show that we can actually make a big difference. We have taken bold steps in quantum with a national billion-kroner strategy, and we will keep pushing forward. Last year, we launched a new AI supercomputer, the Gefion supercomputer, here also in Denmark. An AI supercomputer and a quantum computer will be crucial in shaping our future position in the world. It's no secret that right now, China and the US, they are leading the world's tech race. Unfortunately, it's not the European Union. But today, when I also here in Copenhagen welcome my European minister colleagues, we'll discuss exactly what we're presenting here today. How the European Union can step up on critical technologies, because that's what we need. We need to step up, and we need to take on to a new strategic direction. And today we'll pave the way for that. Just want to thank EIFO and Peter for a very good and enormous important job. once again the Novo Nordisk Foundation for also helping to make this happen. And also, not least, like to thank you, Jason, and your team at Microsoft and Atom Computing that we just saw the introduction from here, who have also, as you have already seen, played an important role in making this happen. These investments are necessary, not only because when it comes to a computer, these investments are extremely important and necessary for the future and for our society. So thank you very much, everybody, once again, for being here. Thank you very much for this project. It means a lot, not only to Denmark, but it will mean a lot also for Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Morten. Mads, you're up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Morten, for really setting the scene for what is a very exciting emergence of a new era of quantum research. As a background, I would say I've always had my hottest dream as head of research and development in the Novo Nordisk company for a couple of decades of actually having access to what was the future promise of quantum within drug discovery. But as you have already highlighted, Morten, it has huge potential, both within human health, but also within planetary health, green transition of society, and so on. This year actually represents the 100-year anniversary of what we call the modern quantum mechanics era. Yet, 100 years later, which is now, we're entering a new era, which I would call the quantum solutions era, where we've advanced quantum technologies to the extent that it becomes realistic over the next few years to develop quantum supremacy, where quantum computing together with AI computing, etc., very often in a hybrid mode, will be able to solve hitherto unsolvable problems. I'm pretty convinced it's going to happen, and it may well happen in this small country. With QuNorth, the establishment of QuNorth and the Magne computer taken out of Nordic mythology, as usual, I was about to say the same goes for Gefion, we are getting one step closer to realizing this dream. And it's not only about competitiveness, it's a prerequisite for, I would say, progress going forward, at least at the speed which society needs it today. In fact, I would say that AI and quantum together represent those two deep technologies that are most enabling for future progress in society. And in that regard, 10 years ago when we looked at AI, one would say we knew AI was going to be big. We didn't quite know how big. We didn't know the path towards the greatness of AI, but somehow we understood that it was going to happen. I would say we are with quantum and quantum computing today where we were with AI approximately 10 years ago. However, it's not going to take 10 years for us to create what we could call quantum supremacy in solving problems. It's going to be shorter time, I believe. So if we can combine these two ways of doing computing and also classic computing, I think we can unleash incredible power, both locally here in Denmark, in the Nordic system, across Europe and the world. Within the Novo Nordisk Foundation, we have decided to invest heavily in both disciplines, approximately more than €1 billion as of today, basically because our belief is that in all our areas of human and planetary health, there's a lot to be gotten from these technologies. Of course, a level 2 computer, this may well be, I think it is going to be the first level 2 computer on European ground, which in itself is an astonishing phenomenon to think about, because now we can start using computing to solve real problems, both alone, but also, of course, in combination with AI and other computing technologies. It's also important to acknowledge that a computer alone doesn't do it. So it's critically important that both Microsoft, QuNorth, our quantum program at the Nisbo Institute, and so on, that we pave the road for an ecosystem where there's skilled workforce, there's critical infrastructure, and there's actually also concrete projects that we can solve with these technologies. And I think that's going to happen. In fact, we'd like really to build, you can call a European quantum hub here in the Nordic system with preferential access for researchers from Denmark and the Nordics, but hopefully also across Europe. You can also say, despite the fact that QuNorth will only go live with a computer towards the end or at the end of next year, we already believe that at this point we need to start building a Nordic ecosystem around the use of this computer and the kind of projects that it can help to solve. So in conclusion, we're extremely happy working together with you, Peter, and the ministry, basically to be able to announce today that we've invested in this, also the running of the Magne once it's up and running. We believe ultimately it will accelerate, as I've mentioned, the quantum ecosystem in Denmark, in Nordics, and maybe indeed in Europe. And in particular, of course, we're interested in the life science benefits within human and planetary health. So a great day for all of us, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mads. Peter?
Thank you very much. And let me start with saying that it's a pleasure to see so many of you at this juncture of the year. I'm glad that a lot of you have sound interest in quantum instead of lying on the beach. So thank you very much for that, and in particular also thank you to Ben and Jason for coming all the way over here for this presentation. It's highly appreciated, and it's a good example of the value of our cooperation and our friendship. Thank you for that. Going back just a year and a half or two, we didn't do anything in EIFO that had to do with quantum or AI. Absolutely nothing. So for us also, this is a development that moves with tremendous speed and where we are learning a new thing every day. We've done a lot of investments already. Some of you are out there in the audience, and it's important for me to say that this is the beginning of something and not the end of something. So while we are very proud to announce Magne today and QuNorth today, this is just the beginning. So don't misunderstand me when I say this. This is something we are proud of. We are very, very eager to continue, and we have ambitions and money, and we have the best possible network of partners that we can work with. So it's important for me that you go from this event today and think about the next steps and how we can further improve our ecosystem here in Copenhagen, and that we can work from what we say is our starting point: Denmark, Nordics, Europe, rest of the world. And that brings me also to try to explain why EIFO is doing this. You could imagine that the short-term return of an investment like this might be a bit difficult to explain, and it is. But I've learned from the physicists, I learn a lot from them, and I will never understand more than a fraction of what they are telling me. But to get to a level 3 quantum computer, you need to get past level 2. And this is the first level 2 quantum computer of high class, not only here, but probably also in the world. And that will give us an opportunity to hopefully continue the cooperation and move on to a level 3 computer at some stage, which we will, if we arrive at that stage, will be immensely proud of being part of, and maybe also be part of one of the best investments in the world at that stage. So this has both, for us, a very important impact on society and also an impact on the financial returns. And then finally, maybe a bit of explanation about the impact. We see this, investments like this, also the one we gave you on, we see these basically as the infrastructure investments of the future. What we're building here is infrastructure for researchers, is infrastructure for companies, is infrastructure that allows us as a society to be on the forefront of the transformation, not only in the digital world, but also when all the digital capabilities meets the physical world. It's a way we can preserve our wealth. It's the way we can develop and invent things that will be the big things for the next 20 to 50 years. And it's extremely important for us that this infrastructure is developed and nurtured in the Nordic region. That's also, you should see with the Nordic names, we give everything together with the Novo Nordisk Foundations. We like that. But it's also important to have this global mindset that we are confident enough and ambitious enough to see ourselves as someone who has to play a role not only in our local region but also globally. So therefore I'm also proud that we have this kind of cooperation, and I would like to finish off by thanking Atom, Microsoft and Novo Nordisk Foundation in particular for this cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jason, please.
Thank you so much. We're very excited to be here today. This is a very articulate explanation, but we are entering a new era of reliable quantum computing. A lot of the computers that we have out there today, they're what's called noisy. They have a hard time kind of solving problems because of that. This level 2 thing is going to take us to the next level that we need to be at, which is reliable quantum computing, and this is the first machine to go do that. That's super exciting. For us, it's also very exciting to be here in Denmark We have one of our largest Microsoft quantum computing labs is located right here. We've been in Lyngby for a long time now. We have a lot of PhDs that are working there already, and we're already expanding that lab. And so building on top of, as you said, a century, starting with Niels Bohr and that history, we're very proud to both have our folks live and work here, but to see this broadening of the ecosystem. And now with QuNorth and with Magne, we're going to take that even further with that growth going forward. In this quantum ecosystem, I think we're just going to see an amazing flourishing of PhDs working together, startups, governments, large corporations, being able to come together and actually bring the future of quantum computing right here in Denmark and, of course, across the Nordics as well. Now, if we think broader, this partnership represents cutting edge. This is cutting edge technology we've got. We've got very high fidelity qubits coming from atom computing. And you saw the video there, harnessing the power of the atom, which is absolutely stunning, the work that's there. Already over 1,000 qubits, heading to 10,000 qubits, large physical machine to start off with. And from a Microsoft perspective, we're bringing quantum error correction, things with 1,000-fold improvement in error correction, because after all, if we're going to use a quantum computer, for some of the examples that Mads gave, we're going to have to actually have great results. That's only going to happen if we have reliable, fault-tolerant quantum computing. That's what this machine represents. And of course, we've got the leadership of both the Danish government, leaning and being very far forward across both Europe, the Nordics, and this environment that we've got is fantastic. We have the strength and expertise coming from EIFO and the Novo Nordisk Foundation, which is fantastic. Thank you again for building this ecosystem and building this opportunity that we can all participate in. And of course, what that equals at the end is new opportunities not only for Denmark, but across the Nordics, across Europe, and across a more global stage. And essentially, from that perspective, we also want to congratulate Denmark on taking over the EU presidency coming up, which is fantastic. The timing for this couldn't be better because we know this forward-leaning technology is a core part of that. And to us also as a company, this announcement is emblematic of 40 years of having a commitment to Europe, to digital sovereignty, to basically, developing and expecting the business environment here to continue to expand and be healthy and grow, and trying to bring the best technology that we have as part of that partnership with the broader European community. So we couldn't be happier to be part of this. I'm very excited to be here today, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, we are reaching the point where all of you, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and we're reaching the point where you can get to ask them, which is, I guess, nice. But I don't know if it's just me. I think that quantum technology is just a bit hard to understand. I don't know. So we've prepared another video which takes like a deeper dive under the hood of this new quantum computer. So, gentlemen, it will be shown behind you, so maybe just take a step to the side. Thank you.
When a user submits quantum circuits to our servers, they get transformed into a sequence of instructions for the lasers, optical components, and electronics. Meanwhile, in the quantum computing platform itself, a beam of hot atoms comes out of a small oven and enters the lower vacuum chamber. Using lasers and magnetic fields, the hot atoms very quickly slow down, cool off, and form a small cloud of extremely cold atoms. An optical elevator moves the cold atoms to the upper vacuum chamber. The upper chamber contains the atomic array created by optical tweezers, which has a reservoir and a computation array. The optical elevator places the atoms in the reservoir, and another optical tweezer moves the atoms into the computation array, where they are ready to be used as qubits. The precompiled set of laser, optical, and electrical instructions are now executed, resulting in the computation of the quantum circuit on the hardware. Once the circuit is complete, the qubits are measured using light, which is captured by a camera. The images are transformed into binary data, which is returned to the user for analysis.
you can take your spots again. And as you see, we've got another name tag on the table because we also have the pleasure of having the company of Ben Bloom, who is the CEO and founder of Atom Computing, which is also a partner in this project. So we are very happy that you've joined us today, Ben. I know that you... Yeah, give an applause. Ben, I know that you're in the process of establishing like a new European headquarters, actually here in Denmark. So just to get you started up here, how does it feel to be here in Denmark today and taking part in casting off this project?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. We started building prototypes of systems almost 7 years ago. And one of the key things I think we didn't know at the time was how we really did need an ecosystem around the machine to make it do all these amazing things that we wanted it to do. And that ecosystem started by bringing on Microsoft and having their quantum error correction on top of the machine. And I think it's going to continue with all the amazing partnerships we're going to make in the Copenhagen region, in the Nordics region, on algorithms and applications around the machine. And I'm very, very excited to bring it here.
Thank you so much, Ben. And it's a pleasure to have you here again. Well, if you have any questions, please ask them. I think we will start with the press, if they have anyone. No? I see a hand here, so let's start with you. And if you could please state where you're from and your name.
Yes, it's Danish sound. So I'm Kurt Stockbro, CEO of Sparrow Quantum, and I want to congratulate you with the new investment and the high ambitions of the Danish government and the Novo Nordisk Foundation and EIFO that really putting focus on quantum. I think it's amazing with a level 2 machine. However, the devil is in the detail also. So actually, if I look into the details of your technology and what you have published, you are not anywhere near of reaching a level 2. I mean, in terms of your logical gates, their fidelity, that they are error corrected, and also in terms of a universal gate set, in particular, non-Clifford gates have not been demonstrated on your logical qubits. So my question is, are there some demonstration data that is not public available that sustain that we will actually get in Denmark what you promised that we will get?
Yeah, I'm happy to say that every day we're making advances and are showing both advances in the complexity of the error correction we can run. For example, we recently published repeated quantum error correction, and we are working with larger and larger distance codes almost every single day. And in addition to that, we're also working on non-Clifford gates, and we expect that will all be working just as well as other demonstrations of non-Clifford gates on neutral atoms, or even, I would say, better.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my question was if you have demonstrated it already, if you have demonstrated the fidelities on your logical gates, and if you have demonstrated non-Clifford gates on your logical gates to sustain that you can deliver a level 2 quantum computer?
We've demonstrated higher distance codes internally and have fidelities for those logical gates. We have not yet done T-state injection, but we believe that's pretty simple compared to what we've already done as well.
Thank you so much for the question. I think I have one, actually, if I may. Of course, Jason, we are very happy that you're here. Can you try to elaborate why such a big company as yours find Denmark so interesting when it comes to quantum?
Yeah, I think the key thing to me is just the ecosystem and the environment that's already here, and then we can actually expand on that. We have, of course, many European employees. They would like to have a central place that they can work in Europe. Having Denmark, again, with a century of history and physics, having great university systems, having well-educated folks, this is a great place for us to have as home. And what we're finding is that we hire European employees. They're excited to come into the Copenhagen in particular, be able to live and work inside of the laboratory. And I think a system like this is actually only going to enhance that. Because as I talk to PhDs on my team or others, just that ability to import talent to go work on hard problems, but then also those folks will go off and actually go on to other things as well. They may create startups. They may go to actually other corporations. They may even go back to university. That all makes sense. Having them be inside of this ecosystem is super important. There's not a lot of places in the world that have that kind of concentration. And I think our expansion of the lab, Ben bringing folks here to actually part of headquarters, and the QuNorth system that's here, plus the broader investment, that's just going to be fantastic. And that's going to compound. And we're already planning out events and things like that where we can actually share knowledge, we can actually work together across the broader community. That's always been important, especially if there's physicists in the audience. I know how much you guys love to get together and debate. That is part of that discipline, which is, I very much respect that.
Yeah, I just add to what Jason is saying that the computer will be placed in what in the future will be called the Innovation District Copenhagen. And this is an area where all kinds of life science come together. So the beauty of this is that not only will you have a fantastic computer plus the Gefion computer within AI and so on, you'll also have all the life science disciplines, including small companies, large companies, that will want to leverage this. So creating like a Boston-like atmosphere at a smaller scale initially, but hopefully ultimately like we see Kendall Square in the US. So it is really combining enabling technologies, deep technologies, with the access to excellent life sciences. That is the beauty.
And Morten, you raised your hand as well.
Yeah, just a short comment. I think there's two vital points in reaction to what Jason is pointing at. First of all, when we look at Europe, unfortunately Europe is not in the lead when it comes to new critical technologies. I mean, the lead is dominated by China and also the United States. But Denmark is doing actually pretty good compared to the rest of Europe. And why are we doing that? We have together for years have success in creating an ecosystem within technologies and developing technologies like the one we're presenting today. So that's point number one. And to bring it from here, what do we need? Yeah, we need projects like the one we are presenting here today, of course. We need finance. We need researchers. We need an environment that's even stronger than the ecosystem that we are presenting and representing today. And that will come, hopefully, with the Innovation District Copenhagen as a future model for creating projects like the one we are presenting today. A physical area where here in Copenhagen, where we will aim to attract investors, institutions, researchers, developers, companies, so that they, in a new form, use time together, talk about good new ideas, and hopefully develop them, can find a risk-ridden capital also among those they're talking to in this new district, Copenhagen, Innovation District Copenhagen, as we call it. So that's the vision. And I think we actually have, as I said in my introduction, taken quite some steps. Gefion AI supercomputer, as we presented last year, and now Magne, as it's called, and QuNorth. So I think we actually are in a good position as Denmark. And there's no doubt that we are facing a really tough global battle of being the first who can present things as we are presenting here today. It is a global race every day to present that. And that's why it is extremely important that we build on this ecosystem that we have established. And, of course, standing on the shoulders of Niels Bohr.
Thank you. And, Peder, I want to touch on something that you said in your speech. You said that 1.5 years ago, you had never invested in this field before. And I hear you, Morten, as saying investments is like a fundamental part of bringing this to the next level. Can you take me on the process of what changed 1.5 years ago, where you said to yourself, maybe quantum is a good field of investments?
But I think we are a good micro-example of the importance of ecosystems and networks, because what changed is basically that we met some people who completely, or at least a lot more elaborated than we did, understood the potential of these technologies, and also understood how you can combine finance with skills and networks and ecosystems, and thereby making an impact and being an integrated part of this, let's say, technology transformation we're undergoing. So for us, it was, I think, a combination of luck that we met the right people, and then maybe some skills that we were able then to use this network of the very, very valuable people we met, use this network to actually create some transactions and make some business. So it was not us sitting in our offices thinking, brainstorming. We knew it was there. We also knew that it was important. But we had to meet the right people to fully understand how it could be transformed into concrete action as we see today.
Thank you. And just time is running from us, so we'll just take one more question, and then we'll say thank you for today. And Ben, you started off as I started off saying you're just establishing your new Danish, the new European headquarters here in Denmark. And as we've heard, this is also about strengthening the environment around. And now as you've come to Denmark and Europe and you're putting your roots in here, what are the crucial next steps for you in order to, strengthening yourself, but also the ecosystem around it?
I think it's hiring. It's really bringing the workforce to the area and making sure that we're interacting with the people in the area that are already here. For us, that's about actually making sure there are people here to assemble the machines, making sure there are people here to operate the machines. But a step further than that is making sure that there are new companies formed in the Denmark region to use the machine, and existing companies, of course, as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen, for participating, and thank you all for showing up today. You're welcome to hang around and take of the coffee and the croissants. But for my part, thank you so much, and have a nice day.